Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one-on-one with the Ginger One. And this week we have none other than the professor himself, Professor H. Shayne Hawke. Andrew, stop, my buddy, my pal.
Andrew!
The GOAT, the greatest technical wrestler in the history of wrestling in Quebec. How you doing, man? What is going on? How was your summer?
Man, people take summers. I didn't know that was a thing.
Not you, probably,
first of all,
but
as my fellow ginger, you know very well that we can't go out in the sun very long lest we spontaneously combust. That being said, I avoided sunburn this year, which was good. Lots of like SPF 1000, which is just a stick of butter that you just lather on yourself. Man, my summer was ups and downs, but busy as all hell, you know? Building this temple to professional wrestling that we've named L'Enfer, which I'm sure we'll get around to. Other than
sick
that,
name.
no vacation at all. Just work the whole way through. Shoot job, real job, the whole thing. But that's what you got to do. No days off.
I know you for a long time, so I was going to ask maybe at the end, but I'll ask it now. Like, how's your mental doing, and how's your physical doing, especially with all the stuff going on?
Yeah, sure. So, man, there's an echo. I didn't realize. Physical health going okay. I got a couple of shots, cortisol shots in my spine, and I got 2 rounds of facet blocker injections, which is when they inject directly into the joints in your neck.
Shit, man.
We're probably going to have to go for some nerve ablation after that, where they like just use heat and shit to blow up the nerves so you don't feel the pain anymore.
Oh, wow.
Had another MRI on my left knee again, so we might get operated. We don't know. Kids, I tell my students all the time, man, because like just heal your injuries. I beg you. I am not even 40 yet, and I have the body of an 80-year-old, and it's ridiculous. But it was a different time back then, right? That's why we don't do any more. Put some fucking tape on it. Get out there, kid. We want people to have long and happy lives, so they're not stuck being wrestling promoters. They can actually be wrestlers, which is way more fun. Let me tell you, mentally. We just upped my meds, baby. I'm on Trintellix now. I'm off the Prozac, which is great. It's been going well. It was a rough adjustment process, but whatever, it's all good. Doing a lot of somatic therapy recently for my mental, physical stuff, a lot of breath work, a lot of stretching, man, yeah. A lot more of the a lot less of the up here stuff of like the therapy, which I still do. I still go up to my therapy and I do my meditation and all that, but a lot more physical stuff these days. A lot more of like feeling my problems in the body and repairing it through like, you know, massage, through stretching. I take a lot of hot baths. I got a massage gun, these kind of things, you know. But
yeah, let's go.
You know, when mental health, man, like one thing that I noticed, at least for me, and that I've seen in my experience in it, is that like we do a lot of therapy and a lot of trying to like outthink our depression without considering where these emotion lives on the body. And I found that like a lot of the like I've been using like ancient Chinese stretching methods and like, not to say that you should not do, you know, medication. We started with I'm on medication, done the talk therapy, but we forget that the brain is also a muscle and stuff like that too. But then the body, we got to take care of the body too. So that's that mind-body connection. I think that I focus mostly on my brain most of this time because, you know, I point to my brain because that's what smart people do. But I've been doing a lot more physical stuff as well, like taking care of my body instead of just letting it go to absolute shit, which I did for God knows how many years. It's been very helpful. I think I'm in a good place right now. Definitely having a big project to throw myself into has been helpful as a undiagnosed workaholic. And now that I'm older too, I'm a lot less inclined to partying and to substances. Like I sleep so much, dude. I go to bed at like 8:30.
Sleep is the best now. Like
it's the best.
That's the ultimate flex. It's like working on yourself, working on your physical, working on your mental, and getting good sleep.
That's all I do. Well, my sleep is okay. Like I try to sleep a lot, but I
compared to what we used to, like after drinking and partying and stuff, like
right. And I'm not drinking very much anymore. I don't party anymore. Fuck everybody. You know what I mean? I just focus on me. Anytime I want to go out drinking anyway, everybody just wants to talk to me about fucking booking. And it's like, you think I want to? I don't want to work while I'm here. I know this is the best time to pitch your ideas to me because I'm more susceptible. Because I'm like, wow, the idea that I'm going to bring in Stone Cold Steve Austin to wrestle you one-on-one and give you the world title in a squash. Genius idea when I'm drunk. And then I wake up and I'm like, maybe not the best idea.
It's so funny you say that because I've been talking to some guys now doing these one-on-one interviews and your name always comes up. I always have to ask about you because you're my boy and I want to, I just want to get some of that and see, you know, where they're at because it must have changed so much going from being in the ring, being one of the boys to now being on like the management side. It's like
crazy. You know, like I started wrestling at I started training at 13, right? So like I had my first match at 14. Man. Now I'm 37, and like now they're all my kids, right? But like there's a big change between like being the youngest guy in the room to now being the oldest guy in the room. Very different. The culture has changed also. Like I do think that I'm allowed to take a little bit of credit for changing the culture and to helping a lot of people.
For sure.
But huge difference between being the youngest guy and the oldest guy. But please tell me about what people say about me.
Better be all good things. All good things, at least from what I've heard. I mean, a few guys talk about maybe there's like a beef between the francophones versus the anglophones in the independent wrestling community, or at least the promotions. That's an actual thing. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, a beef. It's like Montreal versus Toronto in hockey. You know?
It's not like an like actual
a beef. You know, I mean, there's always going to be beefs between people and whatever, but like, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. You know?
Okay, yeah.
It's deep for like pro wrestling when like
that's it. Maybe because the guys are like in it and they're like, oh, you know, if I'm working here, then they know about it. They might think some kind of way. And I was like, I don't think it works that way. If you're
I mean, there are definitely people who are mad at me for not booking them the right way because, like, I don't know, they want to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event. And I'm like, sorry, I don't have the budget for that, brother. And I'm like, fuck you, Andrew. You're ruining my life.
That's all on you, man. You should have just taken it out of your own pockets. You know what I mean?
It's Andrew's fault all the time. All the time, Andrew's fault.
But speaking of, what about good things for Andrew? What is this thing behind you? What is going on? What's coming up for IWS? Because people have been asking me. I've got so many people now that I've brought to shows and things like that, even in the business world.
I appreciate that.
It's a great way to have a business meeting, is bring people out to an IWS show.
Hell yeah, brother.
They have so much fun. There's drinking. We just have a great time. And so everybody has been asking me, where is IWS? All summer there's just been like little things popping up, but no show, no announcements, no nothing.
That's right.
What the hell is going on, man?
Well, we took some time to sit down and reevaluate our strategy and everything like that, and especially with the dojo. So the dojo lease was up, and we had to find a new place for the dojo. And when we moved, like we used to have our dojo in Montreal North, which was pretty out of the way. It wasn't really accessible for people. And then Manny and I got to thinking, and we were like, look, we need a new place for the dojo, right? Because like we need somewhere, like we're ready to expand, like we need somewhere where there's parking that's accessible, like public transportation, like these kind of things, right?
True.
And we were shopping around places for a while, and we ended up finding the location that I'm in right now that I won't show you more of, because if you want to see more, like this excellent mural that's behind me,
insane, man.
You will have to come to the show on October 3rd, called Hell Awaits, live from L'Enfer, which is our new venue. So when we got the place, and it's big, it's 10,000 square feet, it's huge. It's a real big place, and we saw it. We were like, hey, this is potential here. Like we're pretty close. We're right near Mount Royal. We're real accessible. And one of the big problems with running in downtown Montreal that if anybody has like run shows, they'll tell you is like the cost of doing so is so high. And the problem is that you kind of have to pass that cost on to the wrestling fans, right? Which can be an issue because there are some venues, that'll be like $20,000, $30,000 just to open the doors, right? Like no roster, no security, no nothing, right? Like it's like super expensive to do so. Some venues are like that, right? And we're like, man, this is like this massive overhead that is an issue, right? Like that's preventing us from achieving our potential. And so we sat down and we had this new place. We're like, we're gonna make a dojo out of it. Well, why don't we make a venue out of it? And my goal was always to kind of have our own one-stop shop place for wrestling, right? There's no like, Sportatorium or Thunderdome in Montreal. It's not a thing. In downtown Montreal, it's like you have to rent venues and then you're in there for a day. And that can be very difficult because like it's hard to nail down dates because there's so much competition, right? Like,
True.
One of the Olympia shows, the last show we had Effie, right? The next day in the Olympia was RuPaul. And we outgrew RuPaul.
Whoa,
which is great.
That's crazy, especially Montreal too. Like Ru is very over in Montreal.
Fantastic stuff, right?
Deserved, of course, but crazy.
Absolutely. Shout out to RuPaul.
Let's go.
I don't know. I don't watch Drag Race, but I probably should. It's very pro wrestling.
It's very good. That's why I love it because it's pro wrestling.
It's pro wrestling. Yeah, everything is pro wrestling, man.
Yeah.
Real life is fake.
Yes,
real life is fake. Pro wrestling is real. Yes. But we thought, you know what? Like we have this accessible space, and we have room. The ceilings are not as high as I would like them to be, but like, it looks very underground. It looks very gritty, Fight Clubby. It looks cool. It looks like something out of a movie. We're like, man, let's run some shows here. Let's do that. So we moved the gym in, we moved the ring in. The dojo is here now, and now on October 3rd, we're going to have our first show. So we've been renovating the place, man. We got like a new sound system. We got lights installed. We have murals all over the walls. So what you see behind me is not just the only one, but you're going to have to come. So all of those teaser pictures that we were posting and the black and white coming soon, those are all different murals on the wall. And it gives it a really cool, like gritty Fight Club kind of vibe. It looks really cool. So we wanted to run more often, and our solution here to like high overhead and being able to get around dates and run more often is like, if you build it, they will come. And so Manny and I put our heads together and we built this place. And I'm looking around here now and it already looks awesome. And we're not even fully set up yet. By the time we get here, like October 3rd is going to be mind blowing. And it's a big risk, you know, because this is not something that's been done in Quebec. There's no like venue for wrestling, right?
No.
We're doing it. And hopefully people come and support. And if you want to have more local wrestling, right? This is the time to do it.
Yep.
Tickets are only $25 flat. No fees, no nothing. Okay. Of course, running downtown in Montreal, you run into fees and like Ticketmaster stuff, right? We get around that now. We don't need that. Now it's just about the wrestling. So we're going to be able to run our TV here. October 3rd will be a pay-per-view for Triller TV. We will be taping it for the Fight Network. Everything is going to be the exact same, except this place is 100% ours. And when I tell you that we have some crazy shit planned for this show, I don't just mean hardcore wrestling stunts. I mean booking-wise. I mean wrestling-wise. There is some crazy shit planned for this show because we want to start, make a real fucking loud noise and get Montreal to pay attention. And we're accessible. Right next door is the TVA headquarters where Journal de Montréal is. It's right there. All right, Mount Royal's right there. Yep. It's super accessible. You can get there by metro. You can walk. There's a huge parking lot. Huge parking lot.
What a difference. You can an actual parking lot and stuff. Like that's crazy.
And you'll be able to park without paying, $50 to park downtown. There's this huge parking lot. So it's super accessible. It's only for wrestling. It's ours, right? So we're going to be able to just do what we want here. The goal being to run more regularly, get our new bloods in here, and we're turning this venue into something to just plug and play. So you're going to have massive speakers. You're going to have all the lights. You're going to have all the production value that you've come to know and love about IWS. But at the same time, this is going to be ours. It's not just going to be mine. It's not just going to be Manny's. It's going to belong to the IWS hardcore soldiers. And we can really create magic here together. We can really take Montreal wrestling to a next level, but we're going to need your support to do it. And we're going to need you to be there August 3rd.
Man, I've got goosebumps. This is crazy, man.
You like my promo?
Speaking of promos, is that going to be part of it? Because you obviously have the dojo moved in there now. So not only do you have a place to train, you have a professional setup with lights, cameras, speakers, everything. So how is that going to work for the dojo now?
You're absolutely right.
This is next level.
We would ideally like to have a main card show. And by the way, before I continue, we are going to still run the Olympias and the MTELUSes, 2 or 3 times a year. Our big shows will still be at these venues, but we want to run more frequently. But we will also start running new blood out of the IWS dojo at Montfair as well, which will be plug and play. So not only will we have our main card show, TV, pay-per-view, all of that right here, but the students coming out of the dojo will have a TV ready environment to learn now.
Huge.
So it won't just be, we would have our new bloods and we would do like 50 to 100 people. Now we're going to be able to film it, put it online properly, professionally and everything. And the budget will be the same, right? So it's very exciting. My dream world, we're having a main card show. We're having a new blood. And we're having some kind of gimmick show every month. Because imagine if we had like a Kristara Presents women's show. Imagine if we had, Alex Maze's Big Gay Brunch. Amazing. We could do so much with it. Did I freeze? I think I might have frozen.
Yeah, it'll... Cool. It'll catch up.
I would like to do gimmick shows more often. I'd like to do bar shows. I'd like to do that stuff. And we can do it all here under our own house. Right?
Insane.
Very, very cool stuff. It was so much work, man. It was so much work. We redid all the wiring in this place. We painted all the walls. We got the place cleaned up. But it's a beautiful venue. We've got the gym set up. It's gorgeous. I'm really excited for people to come check it out. And I'm excited to like turn things up to the next level because I think that's what was missing. That was the piece of the puzzle that was missing. We've always had a solid product, had a solid roster,
Yep.
but the issue, of course, was we were beholden to places that were not ours, right? Now we have control over that. And I think the control over that is going to make such a big difference for the IWS moving forward, and especially with the documentary that's in the works. We have all sorts
Oh
of
shit,
side
yeah.
projects that are coming out too. Now being more central, being more accessible is only going to increase our stock, I think. But
Oh,
like
for
I
sure.
said, it only succeeds if the gang comes out to party, and what a party it's going to be.
One of the things I think that's changed so much about IWS, I think when I first started seeing it to when you started to get into management, is the storylines. There is real story all the time. In every match, it has story. It is always there. And so, a part of this new venue, are you still going to be in charge of stories? You're going to be writing stories. You said there's a lot of surprises coming. Is story involved in that?
It certainly is.
Excellent. Let's go. You don't have to tell me too many details.
Oh, I won't. You're going to have to come and find out.
Hell yeah, man.
But there are definitely some surprises on that are planned that will shock and awe you. Like I said, we're trying to make a really big noise, trying to make a big bang right away. My thing has always been storytelling in wrestling, man. Like, there are people who prefer the more in-ring based action.
Yeah.
I do too. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
I mean, you've seen me wrestle. The newer generation hasn't seen me wrestle, but like, I'm pretty solid. I can go, right?
I think the classic undersell from one of the best technical wrestlers in the history of Canadian wrestling.
I'm fine. I'm a nice guy. I'm okay. But without that story, it just kind of, it's a stunt show, which is fine, but I don't find that there's longevity in it, and I don't think there's much emotional attachment that comes without that storyline stuff. Every match has a story in it, and maybe it's not in your face story, but there's no wasted matches in IWS.
Yeah.
There are too many people wanting to be on this roster to the point where I tell people all the time, like they ask me, how do I get booked in IWS? They're like, I'm a good wrestler. I can have a great match. And I'm like, bare minimum.
Yeah.
Good match, bare minimum. All right. Every single match that we do has story involved and has stakes and will pay off I want to reward people for paying attention.
Yeah.
Right. I want you to for paying attention, for watching the content online and stuff like that. You get to see oh, wait a minute, that might be coming. Because that's my favorite part of watching a movie or something is the foreshadowing. Like, do you ever watch a movie and then go back and watch it a second time so you can see the foreshadowing?
For sure, man. Of course. I mean, being an actor, story is all that I care about, right? Like, I love story. That's what drives me. Obviously, I love the wrestling too, but story is what I live for.
Me too. And wrestling is a very physical medium, but I think that we have to marry those two together. And I think that it's great if you can have a good match, and it's cool if you can cut a promo. But I want you to do both. Very much so.
That's
I
what
want
the magic
you to do both.
For sure.
And I think especially in this new space, it's going to give us the opportunity to do a lot more wacky shit. One of the issues with adding too much story when you're running irregularly like we have been is that a lot of fans are new fans. Like you said yourself, right? Like it's a business thing, right? Like you'll invite random people to wrestling for the first time. And I do feel like a lot of the IWS audience at the Olympias, at the Telluses, at the Club Sodas, they're new people, right? Like one of the things that I like the most about IWS is that when you go to an IWS show, you'll see gorgeous women dressed like they're going out for a night on the town, right? And to me, the amount of women that feel comfortable at your show and are enjoying themselves is an indicator of how healthy the business is.
Damn, that's true. That's
it's
facts.
not as long as it's not just nerds in black t-shirts. Right?
We're gonna be there anyway.
They're gonna be there anyway. I have your money, brother. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? You're gonna come here. You just want to yell some shit and get drunk. And you know what? I love you for it. And couldn't do it without you. Thank you. But I do think that there is when you see women putting effort into going out, right? When the women are willing to put the effort in, that means they care. And if I can catch a non-wrestling crowd, that's a really big deal. But one of the things about, I was saying, working Olympia or working Antellis or working irregularly, because not everybody's watching us on pay-per-view. Not everybody's watching, the weekly TV show. The weekly TV show, you'll see storyline progression, but not everybody's watching that. A lot of people are just there for a night out. So your storylines have to be played to the lowest common denominator, right? Like, you got to play to the crowd that you have. And if most of your crowd is newer people on a regular basis, you can't go too in depth with story.
Yeah, these little nuances aren't going to get noticed. So
right.
like, some people will, and maybe the wrestlers will have fun with it, but it's not helping the overall story.
It's a great way to give the wrestlers like inspiration on how to create their art. 100%. But like, the reason that storylines in like a WWE or an AEW can hit so much harder is because they have weekly TV. They have this regular audience that's always paying attention, and it's being rewarded for paying attention. And when you're rewarded for paying attention and you get that dopamine serotonin hit, that makes you want to go get other people to pay attention.
Yeah.
Right? That, like, if you're like, oh man, Hangman Adam Page like burned somebody's house down and then like is cutting a promo in front of the burnt down house, I'm like, yo, that's cinema, right? That's our thing now. Absolute cinema, right? I want to be able to tell more in-depth stories like that. And I want to tell wackier stories like that. Like, here, I'll give you an example. This is a great like short clip, which is for like a gimmick that I have had in my back pocket for like since I was a kid. All right, that we finally debuted thanks to Dante Dubois. All right, so here's the gimmick. I'm gonna pitch it to you, Brad. Ginger Heat, you tell me if it's good or not. Okay, audience at home, you tell me if it's good or not. All right, listen to me. Okay, there's two guys. They're dressed like bees. Okay? They're dressed like bees. And they got a mask and everything. Okay? They're both bees and they have promos and they're cutting promos of how the wrestling world is unfair to insects. And they are here to take over the wrestling world because the insects outnumber the humans, and the insects deserve to have more superiority and supremacy in professional wrestling. They have a manager, also dressed like a bee. She's a woman. Her name is Queen Bee. Okay? And their name is the Nation of Pollination.
Oh my God, no way.
Right? But here's the thing. Now, the bees are always different people. Always different people. But we pretend like they're the same bees every single time. So this is a way for like jobbers to come in and like, you know, like they'll be able to like have their first match in front of a crowd. The bees are always the same bees.
And if you're masked up and stuff, you can be someone else a lot. Be someone else a lot easier.
You can be someone else a lot, right? So Dante Dubois did this at one of the Halloween shows at New Blood, where he was Worker Bee, and he had the costume and he had a stinger. Unfortunately, his stinger was ripped off at the end of the match, and he died.
He died.
So he might be a zombie. We'll see. But now imagine, like, if I can do like, you know, a matinee show, like an all ages afternoon show, right? And the Nation of Pollination comes to it. And then Dante recorded a version of the Nation of Domination theme, but he like voice overed it. So it goes, Nation of Domination. He went Nation of Pollination. Very deadpan. Fantastic stuff.
He's the perfect guy for it too, I think. Like,
so good.
So good.
So see how ridiculous that is? But like, you can't do that at like the Olympia for the first time.
Not for the first time. It's like, no,
right? You got to build to the Nation of Pollination, right? You can't just introduce the Nation of Pollination and then like your business guys come with you and they're just like, what the fuck did you bring me to, brother? But I like that wacky, ridiculous, Shakara-esque shit.
For sure. Right? It has a place. We need it. We need that comic relief. We need that in wrestling. It's a huge, important part.
Everybody is just, if everybody's serious in wrestling, everybody's like bald guy with a beard, you know, and wears like jeans or whatever and fights, right? Like, it's boring, right? You need to have like the comedy relief character to then contrast the serious character. 100%. Now, I'm not saying the Nation of Pollination needs to be WWE Tag Team Champions right now. Not saying that. But we've seen, you know, like look at El Grande Americano or these kind of like silly gimmicks that get over, right?
Mr. Iguana is over right now. He's doing well.
Rules.
Puppets are over.
Puppets have always been over. Puppets have always been over. Yeah. I've always been a puppet guy. People thought that they were, you know, that they're too cool for puppets. But like
Muppet
doing
safe
that
place,
ridiculous shit, like you know, like I have all these concept shows and like ridiculous shows. I don't know if you were around when I did Heavy Mania, which was the Heavy Montreal show, where like I did a live action Mortal Kombat and like gave everybody gimmicks where they were like demons and shit, right? Like we could do some like ridiculous gimmicks, and the problem is like, well, what's nice about wrestling now is that like people are on board for the ride, right? So they're not like, oh, the Nation of Pollination is fake because they're not real bees.
Right.
Right. they're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, they're beasts. This is hilarious, right? And it, like, in our current day and age of like kayfabe is dead, but second layer of kayfabe, where people take dirt sheets as reality.
Yeah,
right?
Literally, always.
That's second layer of kayfabe to me.
That's the worst part about getting into the IWC has been the IWC.
It's fantastic stuff. First layer of kayfabe is how you act on TV, right? Like, that's your character that is on TV. That's John Cena slightly turning heel, but not really. We're not sure. Then you have your internet persona, right? You have Drew McIntyre on Twitter, right? Who's doing his Twitter persona. Then you have your third layer of kayfabe. That's who you are in like the news and in interviews and stuff like that. Then you have your fourth layer of kayfabe, which is how you are with the boys, with people in the industry, with fans, these kind of things. You have the fifth layer of kayfabe, which is how you are with your friends and family and your close ones. You have the sixth layer of kayfabe, which is how you are in your head.
Oh,
right?
Shit.
Because how I present myself to people in my life is different than how I am in my head. And it's also how it's different than I am with wrestling fans. It's different than I am on interviews or in podcasts like this. I'm not cutting promos in my everyday life most of the time anyway.
Most of the time.
And then I'm also a different character when I'm in the ring.
Yeah.
There are layers of kayfabe. We've kind of taken the mystique away from the first layer of kayfabe. We have WWE Unreal and stuff like that, but even WWE Unreal is kayfabe.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not showing you the real stuff. They're showing you their version of the stuff, right? So it's the layers of kayfabe. But I feel like where we are in wrestling right now, we've kind of like pulled the curtain back on that first layer of kayfabe, which is all fine and good. But now, like, dirt sheets and IWC and these kind of people think that there's no more kayfabe, which is false. And they believe in the second layer of kayfabe, and they're still being worked.
That's so good. That's what it is. This is what they're not getting. Straight from the mouth of the goat. You're getting worked.
Please, the B. The term smart mark is a misnomer. You can't be a smart and a mark at the same time. They're oxymorons. If you're a mark, you don't get it. If you're smart, you get it. You're just a fucking mark, bro. That's it. That's not the problem is that we've taken that to be a derogatory term.
Right.
It's not. I want to be in on the action. Do you think when I go to a magic show, I go see like fucking Penn and Teller in Vegas and I'm like, show me how your tricks are done while you're on stage? It's fake. No.
Why do you hate life and why hate fun?
It makes no sense. Just fucking get along for the ride, man.
This movie is fake.
Like, I hear that all the time, right? Oh, dude, Captain America wasn't fucking actually fighting Thanos. That's impossible. He's not strong enough. Luke Skywalker didn't get his hand cut off. This is bullshit. Man, just suspend your disbelief for like a minute.
That's it.
5 minutes, maybe, 6 minutes if it's a Shayne Hawke match, because I get blown up real quick. But like, those layers of kayfabe, very important. And I think that once people realize that you can have way more fun if you buy in, and I think some people do realize that.
Yeah.
But buying in is so much more fun. Now, I'm not saying you absolutely must buy in on everything, because obviously some stuff is like objectively bad, and I get that. But I do think that people conflate their own tastes in art with good or bad.
There we go.
Sometimes there's just what works or what doesn't work, right? That being said, everything in the IWS forever always works, and fuck you if you think differently.
Like, I've been beefing with people over Sami Zayn. Obviously, Sami Zayn's getting a lot of heat now. He's got the title, and that's part of it, right? Once you become champion, there's people are going to get bored of you or whatever.
Baby face,
as soon as you become a baby
and
face.
you're not underdog, you're hated. And this is like every single champion ever.
It's true.
Ever. And it's ridiculous.
And it's not like the insult is just, he sucks. It's just, you suck. He sucks. He's the worst.
It's objectively false.
It's just like, whoa.
No, you just hate your dad. That's really what it is.
That's it.
People who hate like a Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins 21, this was the same thing. Dean Ambrose was the same thing. Roman Reigns is a huge example of these. None of these guys are actually bad in the ring. In fact, they're all like elite level competitors. And people want to say that they're bad because they become champion. But really what it is that they want to seem cool. People want to be like edgy, and they want to be like underground, and they want to be independent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go with McDonald's, bro. I only go to this local eatery or whatever.
Of course.
And so once you become the champion, you get viewed as like, you're Disney, and I only like, independent music or whatever,
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is an issue because, like, also at the same time, if we take like the IWC as a whole, right? If you're champion too long, okay, they hate you. If you don't win the title ever, they hate you.
Yeah.
People just want to complain.
That's it.
Let's be
That's
honest.
part
here.
of it. They just
That's
want
what
to
it is.
get it out. They just want to bark.
They just want to complain, and they just want to seem like they're too cool for the popular thing. And really, that's why I say it's that you hate your dad. You're mad at your father for whatever reason, whether that's a metaphorical father, right? I'm not saying like your actual father, but it's one of those things where like you want to be anti-establishment, anti what people like. So right now, you know, who's popular in WWE? Grande Americano, they'll turn him quick. Dirty Dom. If you turn Dirty Dom face in a week, IWC hates him.
Yeah.
Promise.
100%.
And they seem to only like heels, right?
Like even Rusev is like starting to get over and stuff like that now after like, you know, wishy-washy.
He sucks. That's it. No. He's getting over? No, fuck him. He's done. That being said, there are certain characters that benefit more from being held down by the establishment, you know? Good example of this would be like Cesaro. When he was in WWE, the Cesaro section stuff. The thing is that like if they would have put a belt on him, he's fucked. Right? If you look at Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is in this exact position right now. Sami Zayn was the underdog. Everybody wanted him to win the title. Blah, blah, blah. Finally, he wins the title. Oh, he's overrated. He's Sammy Hogan.
Yeah, exactly. And it could have been the world title. It wouldn't have changed anything.
Would not change a thing. Jey Uso. Same thing. Yep. People are like, Jey Uso can't wrestle and all he does is yeet. And it's like, bro, he's not for you. He's selling merch. He's for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not everything is for the 18 to 35 male demographic. In fact, the 18 to 35 male demographic spends the least amount of money.
Damn. That's crazy. They're the ones that are supposed to have money, no?
Here's the thing, right? 18 to 35 male demographic, right? Let's say you just said go to a wrestling show with your boys, okay? What do you spend the most money on? It's not merch. It's alcohol. You go and you buy beer and food and maybe you buy one t-shirt, right?
Yep.
Do you think WWE is seeing that, the food and alcohol sales? Presumably the arena is seeing that, right?
Yeah,
but WWE and pro wrestling in general is a merch company with wrestling.
True.
Okay? Now, a guy goes and takes his girlfriend to the same show, right? Okay, cool. Now the guy wants to impress her. So he's going to buy his food and drinks or whatever, but also like, I'll probably buy her a Rhea Ripley t-shirt or something.
For sure.
Cool. All right. That's a little bit more money. It's a little bit more money. Yeah. Hell yeah. Mommy's always on top. Then, okay, now let's go to families. All right. So now the man and the wife, or the man and the man, or the woman and the woman, it's 2025, whatever they identify as, bring their kids. Okay. Where's the money going now? They're not buying beer and food anymore. They're buying merch for the kids.
It's true. And the good margin stuff. They're buying fake belts and stuff.
Exactly.
The juicy margins.
They're buying the yeet glasses.
Yeah.
Right? That's where the money is. You always need those. And there's always going to be a dancing character in pro wrestling. People are like, oh, why is Jey Uso so popular? You know who used to do this a lot? Daniel Bryan. When you start moving a lot, all right? So, you know, like in Japanese business practices in like the middle of the day, they'll like go to the rooftop and do some calisthenics and shit, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. So if you're a wrestling fan, okay, and you're presumably most wrestling fans are not the most active of people, right? And like, no shade, right? That's not a hateful thing.
No.
But you go to one of these shows, let's say you go to Raw, okay? And then you got to sit through like the dark matches, you got to sit through like main event or speed or whatever they have you, okay? And then you got to sit through like your 3-hour Raw, right? You're there like all day, right? You're just sitting, okay? All of a sudden, somebody gets you to come out and you stand up and you start literally exercising. When you exercise, your brain rewards you. You get that dopamine shot, that serotonin shot, right? You get
it's a workout. Eating is a workout, man.
Absolutely it is, right? It's a workout. And you have not worked out for a long time. If you've been drinking, you're standing up real quick. You ever stand up too quick on an airplane?
Oh, my God.
Oxygen goes to your head.
Come back down.
You start working out. All of a sudden, you're feeling real good, right? Because you're getting your blood pumping, you're moving. You're going to associate those feelings of euphoria with whatever visual stimuli made you feel that way.
Damn.
Psychology of the business is not just which move, when, why, how. It's paying attention to brain chemistry and hormones and manipulating. There's always a dancing character. Always. There's Public Enemy. There's Emma, right? There's Coco Beware. there's always a dancing character.
We want to participate. We've said it before. Like, what gets someone over? And if it's not just the in-ring, or it's not just their talking skills, you have to have some things, either a good song or a dance or emotion or a gesture or a saying, something that we can participate in gets us in there with you.
Get them to physically move.
That's
also
another level.
And there's that body chemistry stuff that then helps that you feel better. Especially if you've been if you've been sitting down for 4 hours and somebody gets you to stand up and start doing fucking squats,
and the whole place is going nuts. You're squatting, everything's like,
right. Oxygen gets low, everybody's screaming, the lights are going up, and you're staring at Jey Uso doing this, and it's awesome, and the kids are loving it. And he comes out in this little Shield entrance, and he finds a kid and does it with the kid. There's a reason that he's in that spot and selling so much merch.
Yep.
And people are like, oh, his spear is kind of bad. Who cares?
He sucks. He sucks at talking. He sucks in the ring. He sucks at this. He sucks at that.
He doesn't. He doesn't suck at talking. Right. I think that's my favorite part, too. I love when people are like, this is so easy. Why don't they just book the exact way I want them to? I just want to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event and become the world champion. Why? Hunter is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter is stupid, guys. And this guy who's top of the fucking industry who's been succeeding forever.
I want it now. I want the payoff now. I want the payoff on Raw. It's like, why?
I want TikTok.
Why would they do that?
I want McDonald's slider.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I want it now.
And then
I want it instant. I'll swipe it.
Yeah. And then as soon as you do get the McDonald's double cheese, which hits real good at 3 a.m. when you're drunk, but 7 o'clock on a Saturday, you eat it and you're like, oh, this is actually not that good. Why is Sami Zayn U.S. champion? You guys don't know what you want? Give me a break. None of us know what we really want in the first place.
No.
Just some of us have studied a little bit more. I love the idea of the thing about holding people down that I was talking about before, right? For example, how Shawn Michaels is now a genius in NXT. Triple H sucks, who's on the main roster, right?
Yeah.
Sure. But before that, Triple H in NXT was fantastic. He was the best thing in the world, and Vince on the main roster was awful. There's a correlation there. You want to be cool and underground. That's really what
I hate Tony Khan. Tony Khan's the worst. Can't do anything right. The product sucks. Blah, blah, blah.
Except when it's good.
Except when you're marking out.
Right. Except when it's good. Then he's the best. Right? I don't think people realize, how difficult these positions are. I don't think they realize, how many variables go into, even at my, independent level. Do you think that everything that I write as a booker happens the exact way that I want it to?
That's
absolutely not.
Yeah,
right?
You can only do so once they're out there. It's out of your hands.
No. And what if I book this finish and they botch the finish? Oh, the booker sucks. It's not the talent's fault, right? Which is foolish.
And we would never know. The audience would never know if something went wrong, and it's true. Yeah. Of course.
And then it's not if guys botch, Tony Khan's not going to come out of the microphone and be like, actually, guys, I booked that differently. It's not my fault. Sorry. We're going to take it again. Guys.
That wasn't my finish.
It's so easy, though. It's just all of it. So easy. Building a venue is so easy. Pro wrestling is so easy. You just have to be a good wrestler.
And all the people in pro wrestling, all the wrestlers are very calm. They're very level-headed. They're very understanding.
No, They're not a bunch of CTE drama kids on steroids. In what universe is Andrew the voice of reason in pro wrestling? I'm a psycho. I've been doing pro wrestling since I was 13. Who does that?
That's
fools.
I always believed that you could make that transition, but when you did, it was still a shock. It was still something to see you become, walking around in a suit and talking to TV people and shaking hands and running around doing business. And it's
I don't even know what I'm doing. I'll be honest with you. I'm figuring it out on the spot. I'm just calling it on the fly. Brother.
That's the way to do it, man.
Good thing that I learned how to work fucking back in the day before you called all your spots. Because honestly, straight up, most of the time I'm just saying yes to shit. And I don't know what I'm yeah, we'll figure it out later. It's all good. It's worked so far. I'm sure it eventually fuck me. But it's worked so far, and I feel like I've given back quite a bit to the wrestling industry, and I've been thankful enough, I've been lucky enough to do all of this that I've been able to do. And that's because I have some good people with me. I got to give a shout out to my fiance. I got to give a shout out to what friends I have left, people who don't hate me now that I didn't book them against Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event. All this to say, this thing is very much a dream that we've had, and it's one of those follow your dream things. I do think that people who do not follow their dreams tend to hate a little bit extra hard on people who do.
It's true.
Because you want to. So you're like, if I can tear their dream away, I won't feel as bad for not following my dream. And it's like, bro, we can all eat. When it comes to pro wrestling, there is enough to go around for everybody. We can all eat. We can all come have a seat at my table. We'll build a table together. It'd be way easier for us to eat together than for us to try to like compete over scraps. The idea of scarcity in pro wrestling is laughable.
Especially now. It's popping right now.
It's the most popular it's ever been. It's the best time to get into wrestling right now. If we can all just get our heads out of our asses and work together, which we probably won't, let's be honest here.
Yeah,
but if we could,
but if you could,
imagine how much bigger we would all be. But that's kind of what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to build a little something that can like maybe build some equity for pro wrestling in l'enfer.
And who knows what star is going to come through that door one day and walk out the other side and make it.
We've been doing it.
You know,
we've been doing it. You know, we've seen it. We've been doing it. It's my 23rd year in pro wrestling now, which is supposed to be a lucky number, you know. And I do think there's some like serious potential that's come out of the dojo, right? There's some real talented people, which like, and we've had like 10 years of dojo now, which to me is mind blowing. But you know, from the Frank Milanos to the Matt Vivianis to the Cristaras to, you know, all of these people who have really put in the work and have gone on to do arguably bigger things than I have, which is what we want.
That's pretty fucking cool.
You want to make the business better for the next generation. Whereas there are a lot of old guys, and I consider myself an old guy because, you know, 23 years now.
Yep.
They're worried about their spot. They're worried about like, oh, I don't want to let other people outshine me. And I've never understood that. I'm hoping my students outshine me. I'm like, one of you get signed right now and let me live in your basement forever. Yeah. Right? I'm going to coast off you, brother. But I want my students to succeed.
We want that alumni money coming back into the dojo.
Hell yeah, baby. Come and give me some free seminars. Let's go. Let's go. Remember that time that I gave you a lift that one time, brother?
I wrote it down. Right?
Yeah, right.
Write them all down.
Yeah, that's what. I think that building this safe environment for people to learn and to perform is going to pay dividends, not just monetarily, but in terms of the culture that we're building here, in terms of the talent level that we're coming here, right? I think the dojo right now is really firing on all cylinders. You know, we got 5 classes a week now. That's a big deal.
Holy man.
Yeah, 5 classes a week right here, central area, on TV, on pay-per-view. Like, these are things that were crazy to me.
Yeah.
Right? Last WWE show, we had over a dozen people working extra work. You know what I mean? We've seen that Giordano, the producer, is now the Johnny Sins of the WWE, right? Him and Stephen Maines, who are they're the Johnny Sins guys, who are, you know, the doctors, the security, all this stuff, right?
Always catching a boot to the face here and there, you know, a little hazard pay. Love to see it.
Mono, yeah, that's it, right? And it's great. You get to have their catering. It's fantastic. Catering at the Bell Center is wonderful. I did extra work myself. Very fun time. But
was it as good as Dark Side of the Ring catering?
I didn't get catering on Dark Side of the Ring, bro.
You had makeup on camera.
Oh, no,
it's
not true. There was catering, but it wasn't like food.
Really?
Like there was like snack. It was like craft services.
Yo, you know? That's crazy.
There were sandwiches, you know, but like WWE catering was like there was like chicken breasts and like salmon and cookies.
Yeah.
And
it's like
me
going to like an indie shoot and it's, you know, juice boxes and crackers, or you go to an Actra production and it's, you know, X-Men and they have, you know, anything you could want.
Right, exactly. WWE catering slaughtered AEW catering, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a shoot. I'm saying it, brother. WWE catering completely blew AEW's out of the water. I'm not sure if that's still the case. That was like years ago, but I'll give them the one up on that one. Tony Khan, step your catering game up. No, I'm sure they've adjusted that since then. That's silly.
It's all good.
Yeah, but like my students have already achieved such a level of success within the pro wrestling industry that was just unheard of when I started. Unheard of. When I broke in, if you weren't like, you know, 7 feet Batista, you weren't even getting a look. If you were not
even
Randy
Phantom
Orton,
wasn't big and jacked enough. They were just like, no, this guy's small. It's like,
no,
what?
Yeah, he's too skinny. What?
Like, what?
This guy's massive.
Yeah.
Now, though, it's a very different industry, right? And like, you know, it's safer for everybody, and women are treated not like second-class citizens, which is wonderful. And I think that we've seen a lot of that here in IWS. I do think like we've seen quite a bit of a women's revolution, to use the
For sure.
popular term rather. Uh, Not just in IWS, but in Quebec wrestling. And I think that the IWS girls have a lot to do with that. And I'm very proud of them for that, because are not only, they're no longer like a sideshow attraction, right? And I've supported women's wrestling for a very long time, even when I was younger, right? Like I was feud with like Mephisto and people like that, and I would bump around for them and everything. And guys were like, "You would do that for a girl?" And I'm like, "Bro, if you see like Superman and Wonder Woman fight, are you gonna be like, that's a girl?" No, but there are still people who are like that. There are still people.
That's great. I didn't know people are. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, but I just to hear it, you're just
not
like,
in IWS,
no,
not in IWS,
but in the scene still, and
even,
absolutely,
you know, there are people like that, and then we have all these women here who fucking bust their asses, and they all have stories too.
Yeah,
you know, they're not just like, oh, we'll take a quota or whatever. We're doing good here. So, best time to get into pro wrestling, especially if you're like somebody who wants to be a pro wrestler. Come down to the IWS dojo. First lesson is always free. Always free. First free trial, which Brad, you still got to come and pick me up.
I'm coming. No, now that that this place is open, super accessible, I'm getting in the ring, man.
You got to get in the ring. We got to see. 100%. We got to see one-on-one with the ginger one. But now I'm the ginger one too. What are we gonna do here? I might have to come out of retirement and lace up those boots one more time, brother.
Hey, you want to be staring up at those lights at the end? That's not my problem.
I'm sorry, you're the jobber here, not me, my friend. Okay. Also, I have a rule. I don't lose in the dojo anymore. If I do practice matches, I am Goldberg here.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't lose anymore, brother.
I love that.
Got a couple little practice matches here and there, you know, just for fun. No bumps, nothing like crazy, right? Because I don't want to get hurt anymore. I'm very, very careful. But I also, if I have a practice match, I do not lose.
That's so sick. I would love to see that.
That's it. You're taking the Shane Tool swings 1, 2, 3. There you go. I'm not bumping for you. It's going to be a tag match. I'm going to work the old man style, right? I'm Ric Flair. The other guy's Randy Orton or Batista. They're taking the bumps.
Let's
go. I'm coming in for the hot tag. I'm going to hit my real shitty old man hot tag and hit my finisher, and you're not kicking out.
I'm that celebrity. I'm coming in to take the L. It's fine. I'm Drew Carey or something. I don't know.
Yeah, hell yeah. But you know what? You can be Jelly Roll. You know?
Yeah, well, Jelly Roll was good, Logan man.
Paul.
He was good.
Jelly Roll was really good. I was impressed by Jelly Roll. I'm not usually as impressed by celebrities, but like we've had some good ones recently.
Bad Bunny.
Celebrity's doing well. Bad Bunny did fantastic. Logan Paul. He's Logan's say what you will about him, but he's real good in the ring.
Yeah, I don't care. Like personality aside, we don't talk about that. We're talking about wrestling. He's an incredible wrestler.
In ring, absolutely. And that's how it is in the wrestling industry. It doesn't matter who you are out of the ring, right? As long as you do flip good. Here's your contract, brother. Hell yeah, let's go with that.
Oh man, I've been keeping you a long time, so let's go ahead and get into these rapid fire questions, and then I'll let you go, and then we can continue. We'll do an interview in person. I'm gonna come down there, kick the shit out of me.
No, I can't wait to chop you. Don't worry, I can't hit as hard as I used to. But
thank God.
I don't draw blood on my chops anymore. It's very disappointing.
Well, we'll see with this thin ginger skin.
It's because I shattered my thumb like a while ago, and it's just not back in. So like I can't hit as hard anymore.
The fuck?
Very disappointing. I had like a practice match.
Thumb.
Yeah, I just like fully just ripped it out at one point. Never fixed it. But whatever, it's fine. Rapid fire questions. Man. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, let's go. First match you ever watched that made you want to wrestle?
Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Survivor Series, 1997. I was there live. It was my first live event ever. My dad took me, and we saw the screw job. I had signs for both of them. I was a fan for both of them.
No, that must have been heartbreaking, man.
And I didn't understand what was happening.
For sure.
I was too young.
For sure.
And my dad, I remember grabbing him and running out. He was just like, we got to go. People are starting to fight. And we just like beelined out of there, and I was so confused. But that pay-per-view itself was a really good one. I think Mankind versus Kane was on that show too. And that was a good one as well.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What's the first move you ever taught to a student, or what do you usually start with?
You just start with like seated bumps. Either seated bumps or rolls. These days it's more rolls, 3/4 rolls. Left side, right side, 3/4 rolls to start. And then in terms of bumping, it'll be seated bumps, and then squat bumps, and then standing bumps. That'll take a bit of progression because we want to be careful of the head and the neck. We need to do some rope walking, and then we do what I call building blocks. So that's lock up, headlock, wrist lock, waist lock, hammer lock. I teach you these are called what I call building blocks of chain, and then chain gets expanded on there. So that's the first part of training here in the IWS.
What's the craziest fan interaction that you've had?
Maybe I'm going to go off the top. Maybe it's not the craziest one. I've definitely had crazier. I mean, one time when I was in Chikara, in Philly, I'll give you two. I was in Chikara, Philly. I was by myself. I had driven down there. I had done like an exam, drove down to the arena, ECW arena, 9-10 hours.
In Philly.
Wrestled Cibernetico.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then drove back. But when I went to drive back, my tires were slashed because I was the only one who could back plate. And so I had to I got one extra, and then I had to drive home on the donut.
Oh my
And
God.
as I drove home on the donut, it took me 15 hours to get home. I had my hazards on. I was halfway on the shoulder. When I was in Philly, everybody was cool. Jersey, everybody was cool. Get to New York, every stereotype of person you could think of flipped me off.
What?
Grannies, children, all of it. That was the first one. Second one, back in the day, MWF in Valleyfield, there was a fan who was nicknamed Le Dentier, which is the fake teeth, the false teeth, right? Because whenever there was a heel that she didn't like, she would take out her dentures, her false teeth, and wave them in your face and try to touch you with them. And she was well known. She passed away, though. R.I.P. Le Dentier. Yeah.
What about your favorite IWS chant or crowd chant?
Oh, man, I feel like I don't really have one. Like, it's just all the generic ones, and I'm not super into like the "This Is Awesome" and all that shit. You know, I'm fine with it, but like, it's just be more original. My favorite IWS chants, my favorite crowd chants are the ones that are spontaneous. You know, like when somebody like comes up with some random phrase and then they chant it. I have been getting into the singing recently. I like the UK singing kind of vibe, but it's don't overdo it. I counter with "I hate one fall." I hate it. I hate it every single time. Stop. Not fun anymore. Enough. It's the new what?
Yeah, it is.
It's the new what?
I hate
Get
what,
over
man.
it.
That's my most hated one, I think.
That's fair, you know, but at least like what becomes funny over time.
It can, yeah.
Whereas the one fall, I'm not into it.
True. What about a dream match? If you get to book any two wrestlers, any era in the IWS ring, who is it?
I'm gonna give you my dream match, which was like me in 2017, 2018, 2020. Like I'm Professor H at that point against Prime Colt Cabana from Ring of Honor. Where he's doing comedy and technical wrestling. I think we would have had a really good one. Still would love to have that match someday, but probably won't happen. But I think if we had like Prime comedy technical Shayne Hawke against Prime technical Colt Cabana, could have been a really good time.
The banter would be nuts. I got to see him in Edinburgh at the Fringe Festival just talking, and it was an amazing. You just sit there and listen to him talk, and he could just rattle off stories, right? It's the same with you. If you did a show, we could just sit there and just talk, and you would come up with so much stuff, man.
I think it would have been great. Yeah, for sure.
What about most underrated wrestler in Montreal right now? One or two?
Most underrated wrestler in Montreal right now. Ooh, it's well, I think Alex Mays is very underrated. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. I think that because there's just a lot of other people that he kind of gets lost in the mix, and people don't realize how good he is in the ring.
True.
Nathan Yarimovich, also very, very good, very underrated.
So good in the ring, yeah.
Two guys who are gonna definitely step up soon. And then
Alex
Danny Leo.
T-shirt. Oh, Danny Leo, so good.
Danny Leo, very good on the mic. Somebody also I think is going to shine pretty brightly, no pun intended, going up soon.
Very nice. What about a training pet peeve? Anything that students do that drive you nuts?
I have a few of them. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good one. When people distract while I'm training, like side coaching, that kind of thing, I'm not a huge fan of it. At least like get my attention. I don't mind if you want to give your comments or whatever, but don't do it while I'm doing it. Not wearing deodorant is a big one. You have to wear deodorant here, absolutely.
It can be aluminum free. Just put on some deodorant.
Just put on some fucking deodorant, bro. And that just goes to everybody. Also, not washing your gear. That's a pet peeve of mine. Wash your gear, wear deodorant, you stinky fox.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always wondered about when you're working in the ring with someone. There must be some people, I guess, that are more hygienic and less hygienic, and it is what it is, right?
No,
once you're in the ring, like.
If you put me in a headlock and you smell like shit, bro, I'm stiffing your ass. Fuck you.
What are you eating after a show?
Depends on the show. If we're on the road, you know, it's just fast food, whatever I can get. If it's after an IWS show, it's just whatever's open. I try to eat as healthy as possible, but like sometimes if you had like a really big match, you just want to get some greasy stuff in.
That's when you've earned it at that point. How many calories have you burned throughout that day?
Right. Like after Battle War at Foofs or something, you go to Montreal Pool and get some hot dogs. That's always a good time.
Makes sense. And if you weren't wrestling, what do you think you'd be doing right now if you weren't involved in this business?
I mean, I'm communications.
Of course.
I work a communications position. Like that's my full-time shoot job, stuff like that. If I had more time, I'd probably be doing stand-up. I've been getting into stand-up recently. I've been doing some comedy. We'll see if I ever get around to actually doing it, if my schedule permits. And I'd like to be a dad, so we're working on that too.
Let's go.
Like I think I've got too many kids in wrestling, and I'll be a dad. So,
is that with Hasher that you're doing the stand-up? Is he helping you out at all, or getting you some connections?
Yeah, he keeps bugging me to come do his shows. Hash keeps bugging me to do his shows, and I got to take him up on it eventually. I'll probably get around to it. It's my friend Lawrence Corber who really got me into it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Lawrence got me into it more. We went to summer camp together when we were kids. We were in the same Hebrew school.
Oh, sick. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
I was like looking at some kind of new performing thing, and he suggested some books for me, so I wrote a few jokes. And like I got a type 5 at this point. I'm not going to give it to you yet. I'm just saving it for the stage. But I think I'd do some form of performing. But yeah, definitely I want to be a family man at this point in my life. That's where I'm at now.
Love it, man. Love that.
Yeah.
What about gear? Did you ever have a favorite gear or a favorite t-shirt, like your merch? Like, obviously, I love the one that's just the silhouette, the orange one with the orange writing, black shirt. Really nice. But you've had some nice ones. Does anyone stand out?
The GWO shirt did the best for me.
Oh, the GWO shirt. Fire.
The GWO shirt like sold like 4 or 5 batches, which was amazing.
Really?
The GWO shirt did great.
So
the
good.
Casprod GTA shirt was pretty fun also. In terms of my gear,
yeah, that shirt's fire. I love that shirt.
My orange tights that I had with the Professor H logo were probably my favorite.
Yeah, I love those too. The last one I'll throw at you. The question's written here differently, but whatever. When I was talking to Phantom, he was talking about, I was asking him the differences between working with, the indies and working with the guys that go on to the big shows and stuff. And he said the difference between a lot of them is the smoothness, not just like the tech. There's something about it that just puts them off. Is that something that you've experienced? Is there anyone like that you got to work with either before they blew up or as they blew up, like any big names that you thought were just like, wow, this is
Orange Cassidy, when he was still Fire Ant, was incredible.
Ginger on Ginger crime, holy.
Yeah, even though he almost killed me. He gave me the beach break off the second, and I was supposed to hold his waist, and he didn't tell me, which was fantastic. Working with a lot of those Shakara guys was just fantastic. Hallow Wicked, who was never really went on, but was probably the smoothest guy in the ring ever. Brody Lee was surprisingly light for such a big dude. Matt Tremont also was incredible. And these are guys who you would think would be stiff, and they're not at all. And I always think that's the best when like it looks stiff and it's not. You know who else was like super light was Demolition. What? Demolition Smash was just so light with me. I remember that Demolition Smash was like when I was like 18 when we had that match, and he was like, I don't know if you can, like if you're small, so if you want to hit me for real, you can hit me for real. And like I was like, all right, man, but I can work. And he was like, just hit me, it's fine. And I put him in the corner in the heat, and I was like giving him a couple of punches, and he goes, ease up. And I was like, I told you. All right. But they were light. I took the Demolition beat down. They were light as shit.
Damn, that's nice.
Biggest difference for me between guys who have like made it on and been successful and guys who are like stuck on the indies is that the people who are successful are super nice. I think that the people who have accomplished things in wrestling are always super nice people, happy to be there, very giving, generous, nice people. The people who are stuck on the indies forever tend to be a lot more bitter and a lot more like protective of their spot and not as giving. So I do think there's a big difference there.
It's similar in the acting world. In the film world, a lot of the time you'll hear directors say, I like working with this person. They're easy to work with. And that's what will get you cast rather than what you look like or how you do the scene. It's what do you like outside of that when they have a little conversation?
I want to work with you. Do I want to work with you or not? Yeah.
I'm going to be with you day in and day out. We're going to be a lot of hours together. Do I like working with you? So be a good person out there.
Be a good person. Just don't be a dick, man.
That's it.
Number one, Professor H. Andrews, number one piece of advice in pro wrestling. Get your head out of your ass and don't be a dick. Be a nice person. That's it. I don't give a shit if you can work. Just be cool. I do give a shit if you can work, but like,
but if you can't, you'll get them there. If that's the problem, they can't work. You'll get them there. That's probably the least of the concerns. No,
zero. I want to be happy to see you at work. That's what it is.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
I got to go open the door. I think that Christara is going to be here in like 5 minutes to work out. So I got to make sure that I do that.
I kept you way too long, man, but thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Cool, man. I'll talk to you soon. I got to let you go like right now. I think he's here.
Go for it, man. Jump.
See you later, man. Good to talk to you, man.